Hey everybody, welcome to my YouTube channel, Shane in India, which documents my time living in India. So the purpose of this channel is to kind of give a particular perspective, i.e. my perspective of living in India, that is extremely positive. So this channel was started on the back of watching some travel YouTube vloggers, bloggers, whatever you want to call them, coming to India and effectively trashing it and not giving it what I feel is a fair shot, and moreover portraying to the rest of the world an inaccurate perception of India and particularly Delhi. So my first video on my YouTube channel, i.e. this one, is going to be talking about my experiences of Delhi. So I used to live in India. I live in India now. I live in Bangalore now, so I live in the south. I used to live in Haryana. In fact, I used to live like 70, 80 kilometers away from Delhi. So I would travel into Delhi most weekends. And like people would ask me, what is your favorite city in the world? I would like to think that I'm well traveled and I'm English and I used to live in London and I love London. But the next city, in my opinion, that just gets me excited when I think about it is Delhi. So I want to just share with people my experiences of Delhi and moreover why I think Delhi is a great destination to go to if you're a traveler, and moreover I'm going to give you reasons why I think Delhi is one of the best cities in the world. So I've kind of come up with 8 personal reasons, things that are personal to me about why I love Delhi, in the hope that if people watch this video, if they have not been to Delhi, give Delhi a chance. And moreover, if they have a particular perception of Delhi because of certain travel YouTube vloggers, that this video gives a different perspective. Hopefully it will make you want to visit if you haven't been. So starting off, I think the one thing that really needs to be stressed about why I love Delhi, and I think really has been stressed since I've lived in Bangalore, is the metro system. I cannot overestimate, that's probably not the right word, but the Delhi metro system is easily one of the best metro systems that I've experienced anywhere in the world. That city is unbelievably connected. You can get anywhere on that metro system. Pretty much the whole of the city is connected. It's even connected to Noida, Gurgaon. And if you're a tourist, I know obviously it is great to be in tuk-tuks and walk. That's how you properly experience the city. But you do have the metro as an option as well. All of the kind of main sites to see are connected to the metro. And so for me, living in Bangalore particularly, I massively miss the metro system. I miss being able to get anywhere in Delhi. And yeah, like I said, that metro system like holds up and is compared to any of the best metro systems that I've experienced. So yeah. Number 2, so for me, my draw and appeal to India before I moved here the first time was the fact that coming from the UK, being a religious studies teacher, like studying religions objectively is a huge passion and interest of mine. And Delhi is certainly a spiritual haven. I don't know any other city in the world that has the quantity of significant, large, impressive religious buildings. For me, Delhi isn't obviously just a city, it is a spiritual haven. It's home to places like the Gurdwara Bangla Sahib, the Lotus Temple, the Jama Masjid. In fact, one of my favourite places anywhere in the world is in fact the Gurdwara Bangla Sahib. I would frequently on a Saturday go there. It's obviously free to go in. As you go in, there's a pot with obviously cloth that you can cover your hair in. And yeah, I don't profess to be a Sikh or follow Sikhism, but certainly I enjoyed the peace and tranquility, if you will, of just sitting there in the Gurdwara and actually just sitting on the lake just outside. And I could spend an hour, 2 hours there. I mean, yes, I have been to the Golden Temple in Amrit, so that's another experience entirely. But I think for me, that's one of my most favorite, like, holy places to go to. And as I said, I don't follow that religion, but going there and no one hassles you. I think that's the thing about Delhi, particularly for a tourist and a traveller, is Delhi can, if you do it wrong, can be intense in regards to people hassling you. But if you just want to go somewhere for just peace and just to get away from the craziness of Delhi, then definitely that Gurdwara is a place to go. These places are free and they're all on the metro system, or they're within 15 minutes of the metro system. So due to the religious significance of Delhi, that's why Delhi for me is one of the best cities in the world. I mean, following on from that, architecture, like the architectural grandeur of Delhi, if you will, is amazing. I mentioned the Lotus Temple earlier. I mean, that is definitely a sight to behold. But I think one of the most impressive sights is Akshardham Temple. As you approach it on the metro, it's almost like this video is promoted by the metro. It's not funded by the metro. But as you approach it, like, you can just see it in the distance, and the size and magnitude of that temple is insane. That temple is free. Do check. It's closed on Mondays, I think. I've made that mistake once. And bless, there was a tuk-tuk driver outside the metro who was, as I was walking to the temple, was saying, it's closed, it's closed, it's closed. And I was ignoring him, thinking again he was taking advantage, but he was right, it was closed. So do check. I think it's Mondays it's closed. But you can spend at least 2 hours at Akshardham Temple. But you've got other insanely amazing architectural sites as well. There's the Laxminarayan Temple, and one of my favourite Hindu temples in Delhi, Chhatarpur Temple. Chhatarpur Temple is like a village of temples, if you will. And, you know, I've been there a few times. I've spent up to kind of 2 hours just walking around the different parts of that complex. These places aren't just beautiful, but as I said, they are easy to visit, they are free, and I've never had any issues going into these places. No one's hassled me. I've been able to just freely enjoy these places, and they really do, like pretty much the majority of things that I have said and will say in this video, they really do showcase the city's rich cultural and architectural heritage. Number 4, I mentioned earlier that, like, objectively, I love studying religions and I find religions so unbelievably interesting. But I'm also a bit of a history buff as well, in the sense that I do love history, and to say Delhi is steeped in it is a massive understatement. Like, there are some amazing cities that I've been to and I've just missed the kind of overt and objective history in your face. Like, for example, Ho Chi Minh. It's an amazing city for so many different reasons. But, like, if history is your thing, like, every street or corner, if you will, in Delhi, there is something of historical significance. And I still say you could visit Delhi for 2 weeks and still not see everything that I think you should see if you're interested in history. Yes, are some of these places tourist traps? Yes, but nonetheless, they're great places to visit. So you've got Qutub Minar, Humayun's tomb. I mean, Qutub Minar, did I go there and did a security guard offer to take my picture, and did the security guard not want to give me my phone back until I paid him? Yes, but that was like 12 years ago. I was a tourist, I was naive, I learnt my lesson. I think Delhi has got much better in that aspect, but if a security guard offers to take your picture, they're not being nice. So let's just say that. But, like, there are some places which people don't talk about as much, which I think are more impressive than those places. I didn't even say the Red Fort. The Red Fort is impressive, but again, it is a tourist trap. But, like, you've got Safdarjung Tomb, which is awesome, and no one really talks about that place. And I remember going there, and that was one of the very few places that would take my tax card as proof of living in India, so paying a cheaper rate. So if you've been to India before, you'll know that places to pay, or places that you pay, there are foreigner prices and there are local prices. And so to get the local prices, you need to have an Aadhaar card, which I don't have. I've never had, but I have a tax card. And so I really appreciate them, every time I go to them, I show them my PAN card and I get the local rate. Not many people accept that, so I really appreciate that. But I think that place is massively underrated. Number 5 kind of leads on to that really, and that is the fact that every corner of Delhi, there is a story and an identity. And the different neighbourhoods and pockets of Delhi, as I said, they have their own story, they have their own narrative. For me, I think where a lot of tourists go wrong is, I get it, if you're a tourist, I understand why you would go to Paharganj. That is the kind of backpacker hub of Delhi, but it's not in the same vein as the backpacker hubs in Ho Chi Minh or Bangkok. Like, if chances are Delhi will be the first place that you arrive to in India for your first time in India. And if you're going to go to Paharganj, like, to say your senses are going to be on overdrive is an understatement. Is Paharganj the nicest place in India? No. Is Paharganj the nicest place in Delhi? No. Would I stay there? No. Don't get me wrong, it's amazing in the sense of there's a particular centre bit where there's I think it's the Rainbow Cafe, which you get to look down on the craziness that is Delhi and Paharganj, and you can just sit there and spend hours just people watching and observing. But like, I think where people go wrong is staying in Paharganj. So when I used to go to Delhi most weekends, I would stay in Lajpat Nagar or Kailash Colony, 2 amazing kind of hubs, neighbourhoods, both kind of famous for their own things. Lajpat Nagar for its markets, I'll talk about that later. And Kailash Colony just has a really, really good vibe. And in fact, Kailash Colony has lots of kind of restaurants, bars, cafes. And I don't know why people don't go there. Like, Airbnbs are super cheap. You can pick them up for 20, 30 euros a night. And you don't get hassled. Why would you get hassled? Because foreigners don't go there. So it takes away a lot of the stress that Paharganj gives you. Paharganj is busy. Paharganj is in your face. And Paharganj, if you're going to kind of get ripped off, you're either going to get ripped off or you're going to experience hawkers, etc., in Paharganj or Connought Place, which I'll talk about in a bit. But these places you don't. They're both on the metro, and it allows you to ease into India, and it allows you to go back to a place, because India can be stressful, Delhi can be stressful. I'm not trying to deny that. I'm not trying to play that down. But at least if you stay in somewhere like Lajpat Nagar or Kailash Colony, you've got a hub to go back to where you can go, and you don't feel like you have to stay in your Airbnb or hotel and de-stress. Like, particularly Kailash Colony, there's this lovely area. There's a place called Cafe 27, which is like a rooftop bar, and you can just chill and just process the day rather than having to stay in Paharganj. So yeah, I think for me, number 5 is just every neighbourhood, every pocket of Delhi has its own story, has its own identity. And if you're going to go to Delhi, pick a calmer one. Some people might say Lajpat Nagar isn't calm, but at least you're not going to have people trying to get things from you. People leave you alone, because why are you in Lajpat Nagar? Number 6 has to go to, and I never see it in all of these travel videos that really go to town on why Delhi is so awful. They clearly don't go there. And for me, it's Hauz Khas village. Hauz Khas village is one of my favourite places in Delhi. Like, it has cafes, it has shops, it has bars, it has ruins, it has a park with deer. Like, you could spend a whole day there. It's like a mixture of history, art. There's like art, little like boutique art galleries. The nightlife, it's got my favorite bars there, particularly the bars that allow you to sit and just oversee the lake and the park. Like, yeah, if you want to go somewhere that has medieval ruins, trendy cafes, boutique stores, bars and restaurants in one place, then Hauz Khas Village is for you. I think the reason why it's so good and is so good for a tourist, it is a blend of old and new. So if I was going to venture out on a Friday or Saturday night, it would most likely be Hauz Khas. Yeah, the spot's amazing. I haven't quite found my Hauz Khas yet in Bangalore. I'm still looking for it. Similar to my number 6, my number 7 again is a place in Delhi that I absolutely love, and that's Lodhi Gardens. Like, if you've never been there before, it is a big park which you can take a picnic, you can go and sit and you can chill, and you're surrounded by openness with a multitude of historical monuments as well. And it's free, and you are free to just roam around this park with these ancient monuments, and you think to yourself, like, why am I allowed to be so close to these old things? But you are. And I think because it's so central as well, it is a good place to escape to if things get quite tough, because they can do. It's a good place to be like, right, I'm going to go to Lodhi Gardens and I'm just going to sit. I'm just going to sit and I'm just going to chill for an hour. And it's really cute. Like families go there, and like I said, take their picnics. Big families go there and play games. It's just a nice place just to kind of, soak in nature whilst also looking at these historical tombs that are just scattered around. I don't know anywhere else in the world like it. And again, it's another place that I very rarely see in any of these travel vlogs on YouTube that seem to be coming to India and Delhi for the sole purpose, knowing they're not going to like it. Like, go to Hauz Khas, go to Lodhi Gardens, because I can't see how you would go away from those places and still have a negative opinion of Delhi. Number 8, I was trying to think of something to say for number 8 to really showcase Lajpat Nagar. Like I said, Kailash Colony would be a place that I would go to because I did like the bars, but I would most frequently stay in Lajpat Nagar. If you're shopping for an Indian wedding, go to Lajpat Nagar. But like, number 8 for me is just shopping. You have Lajpat Nagar, you've got Carol Bagh, which I've stayed like once or twice, where you can go bargain shopping, but you've also got Khan Market. So this also links to what I was saying in regards to Lodhi Gardens. So around the corner from Lodhi Gardens, you've got Khan Market, which is more upmarket and more boutiquey and more expat friendly, but it is a cool place because it's got some amazing restaurants and it's got 1 or 2 bars as well. So again, you can chill in Lodhi Gardens, think to yourself, am I ready to kind of go back into the craziness that can be Delhi? And then you can walk around the corner and go to Khan Market. And that's almost like half a day where you experience Lodhi Gardens, go to Khan Market, get some food. There's I don't know if it's still open, there's the beer cafe, which has an outside bit which you can just sit and relax as well. Yeah, Khan Market, particularly for an expat and a foreigner, I enjoyed going there. And it would be full of, not tourists, but expats, people who are foreigners who live in Delhi, because there's a lot of shops that you can get home comforts from, and there are some really, really nice restaurants that make very, very good Western food, which isn't always easy to come by in India, good Western food, but it's plentiful in Khan Market. So yeah, Khan Market I wanted to showcase as well, but I'm putting it under the umbrella of number 8, shopping. Very good shopping in Delhi for all price range is. So those are my 8 reasons why I think Delhi is one of the best cities in the world, and why I couldn't officially say lived in Delhi because I didn't. I lived in Haryana, but why I would, in anticipation, be excited to visit Delhi every weekend. And when I left Delhi, it wasn't because I didn't want to go back to Haryana, but like I didn't want to leave, and I would happily live in Delhi. But obviously, I'm aware that the pollution is not ideal. But the last thing I want to say is there are a few things that I've not said which I think would probably be in a top 10. Connought Place. It will be a place that foreigners will go to, and it's probably even me as an expat. I would like to think that when I walk around India, I walk in such a way where it looks like I've been here for a while. But even in Connought Place, I would get hassled. And I'm raving about the metro. Arriving at Connought Place Metro is disorientating because there's like 5 different exits, and GPS really doesn't work in Connought Place. So if you're going to Connought Place for a particular reason and you come out the wrong exit, you can kind of get lost. But I do want to say that I've had some amazing nights in Connought Place. I talked about nightlife in Hauz Khas. Like, Connought Place has some amazing bars. And I've had some really good nights there. But as a tourist, I think you can't avoid it. I think it's somewhere that you probably will go intentionally or not. And you probably will go there to go to the Gurdwara that I was referring to earlier, because that's just around the corner. But if you don't see it, even though some people love the architecture of Connought Place, if you don't see it, for me, you've not really missed anything. And you've probably missed people trying to scam you. The second one is Chandni Chawk. You either love it or you hate it. I didn't want to advocate for Chandni Chawk on this video because I have a personal love for it. Like, I love Chandni Chawk. As I said, everything I've said in this video pretty much can be summed up in Chandni Chawk. History, religious buildings, culture, heritage. It has its own identity within Delhi. It's so unbelievably old, both factually but feeling as well. And yeah, if you catch it at the wrong time, I remember I got my train stations wrong. So I was supposed to be going back to Haryana on a train, and I went to the main station in Delhi, which is insane, and didn't realize that my train was the one from Chandni Chawk. And I remember walking, it was a Sunday, and even I got claustrophobic, and I can deal with people. And there was a moment where I had to stop being like, oh my gosh, yeah. But I just again, this video is a huge advocate for Delhi, but it's also kind of, if you haven't been to Delhi before and you're going or thinking about going, just a bits of advice. Chandni Chawk is also a place where foreigners will go, and it will be a place where people will try and scam you. If you go to the Red Fort by the metro and you arrive at Chandni Chawk, there will be metro drivers that will say you need a tuk-tuk and charge you 500 rupees, which is ridiculous in itself. Don't listen to them. Follow the crowds, and the Red Fort is like a 5-minute walk. But yeah, if it's your first time in India, first time in Delhi, and then you just go straight to Chandni Chawk, I can imagine some people that would be a sink or swim moment. So I was a bit apprehensive about advocating for it. I love it. I would go there, like, I'd take you there now, but yeah, it's not for everybody. I think another place worth saying, I was thinking about saying it, but I was like, but why? Because you went twice, Shane, and you didn't particularly rave about it. It's Dilli Haat. It's a really interesting concept. So it's a place which showcases all of the states in India in regards to both their culture, where you can buy cultural items, and food. So if you're a foodie, it's quite a good place to go, because every state has a food outlet, if you will, that you can buy hot food from those states. I just found it was pricey. Again, living in India, I'm looking at it with an Indian salary, not a European salary, being like, this is really overpriced. And yeah, it kind of was like, I get what it's trying to do, but it just felt a bit kind of like Disneyland-ish. It didn't really feel like authentic India. But yeah, if that's your thing, and actually it might be a good educational experience for someone if they haven't been to India before, to kind of get a brief flavour, both in regards to food, but feeling of all of the different states in India, because they're so massively diverse in their identity, culture, food, etc., etc. So I wasn't sure whether to include that one, but I put that in I guess at the end as in avoid, but the way that I've said it, you might not avoid it now. I just wasn't that impressed the 2 times I went. So yeah, this video I thought was the appropriate video as my first video on my channel, because I feel, and particularly when I speak to people in Bangalore and I explain that I used to live up north, and my eyes would light up when I talk about Delhi, and they'd be like, why? But I just feel that Delhi is written off so unbelievably quickly, and I understand that the smog situation isn't really helping it, but I just think it's a fascinating city. So yeah, I hope this video is useful, even if it's to one person, I will leave it there. So if this video was of interest to you and you are interested in this sort of content, please do subscribe to my channel. Please do follow it, support it. So I will leave it there. So until my next video, I hope you all stay safe.